Mary hasn't actually passed her driver's test yet.
It's closer to that than you'd think. And he's like, so you blew through a stop sign.
Why do lights all have to be the same boring shade of white? Why can't they be School of Rock? What color are headlights? Jumanji. So bigflation of Slim Jims. Too much Jim. Why do I need so much meat?
I get that. No, I understand.
You're telling me if you were tailgating someone and you got hit with a clump of cat piss, you wouldn't slow down?
Ooh. I would slow down and I could die.
That's the intro to the podcast right there. Cole wrote that down. So this is a new podcast. It's called Car-ish.
Car-ish.
Jen and I are the cars, and Mary is the ish.
This is true. I don't know anything about cars, which is not true. I've learned a lot.
You've learned a lot
since working here.
Yeah.
We were driving the other day, and there was a dog in the car in front of us, and Mary turns to me and see those dogs in that Mini Cooper, and I was like, make and model.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Look at you, Mare Bear.
I know.
I'm impressed.
Then, were you here for this?
No. Well,
She said the dog looked like the old lady driving.
Oh, I was there for that. I was there for that.
We were on a
Yeah,
shoot.
well, she kind of did.
Yeah.
To be fair.
there was a dog, like a white poodle in the back.
Curly hair.
There was a
White curly hair.
very white-haired grandma sitting in the front seat.
Yeah.
It was like
you
a
said, did you see
doppelganger.
the second dog? And I said, the one in the passenger seat? And you said, no, that's a woman. So
Well, they
Okay.
say that dogs look like their owners, you know?
that's a real thing.
Good start, people. Good
You
start.
kind of look like Blaze.
That's great. So we thought it would be fun for this first episode to talk about our first cars and the first topic, and also talk about what made a good first car versus a first car that was just the worst. So we're going to start with Mary. Mary's first car was probably something dumb like a bicycle with a wagon.
I loved bicycles with wagons. I think you mean basket, though. My first car was a red Chevy Blazer.
Nice. What year?
That's such a good question. I would guess like 94.
Ooh, like old bubbly? Were they
Bubbly.
bubbly or were they boxy?
Boxy.
It was boxy.
What was its name?
Its name was Clifford because it was big and red.
That
Like the
tracks.
dog.
That's really smart.
So my parents were very anti me having a big car because they were convinced I would crash it. And they were also convinced that I would make babies in the back of it. Me. Could you imagine me? I was even nerdier then than I am now. There was no babies being made ever. So I don't know what they were worried about. But the question is,
It's like, don't give him the back seat that goes down. Don't give him the back seat at all.
no backseat.
Reclining seats? I don't think so.
My first car was a Mini Cooper.
Really?
makes sense.
And that's why I say I didn't get spicy in the back of it. That's my claim. It's not because I had a deep fear of intimacy. It's because I simply did not have the room.
Fair enough. I could have done it in the Chevy Blazer for sure.
Did you at your Catholic school?
I'm not going to divulge that information.
Folks.
And Jen, your first car?
My first car was so luxurious, you guys. It was a Mercedes-Benz
Oh.
from 1984. So
I guess we should just go.
Should you just leave?
Thanks, Jen. It was nice knowing you.
no,
Wow.
it was a very,
How'd you get a Benz?
It was a very, well, from the newspaper. So I
When
looked
were
up.
you born?
Well, the 90s. Born in the 90s, y'all.
Wow.
So no, I was looking for a car and I went in the classifieds and found 1984 190E manual. Didn't even know how to drive manual at the time. So I went and bought a car that I could not even drive home and then had to just learn how to drive it on the go.
Wow. Cole, can you look up a picture of that car?
So, Mary,
What does that look like?
you think you're going to be impressed by the look of this car?
Oh,
You are not.
Well, a Mercedes-Benz sounds fancy.
Well, the
In my
only thing
book-
fancy about it was the fact that you could see the hood emblem.
You're like, that's a Benz.
It did have some sweet leather seats, though.
Okay.
It was dark blue interior and white paint. It was awesome. It was the greatest POS I ever had.
There it is.
Yep.
So this is
That
Jen's
was
first
my
car.
first babe.
What color was it?
It was white.
What'd you name it?
I never got around to naming it.
Jen!
I just was never a name my car person,
Does your
I guess.
current BMW have a name?
None of my cars have had names.
Can I please
You can
name
try
your car?
because I get so overwhelmed because there's like dozens of names.
Yeah, shocking.
And then I just can't land on one. I'm like, well, it's, my cars are moody. Maybe it doesn't want to be a Bernice one day. Maybe it wants to be a...
First of all, your BMW is not a Bernice.
No, that's my point, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. That thing was That thing was really fun.
Can
it was
I-
so slow.
It looks like you'd have golf clubs in the back.
It did.
Unironically, I was obsessed with
golf.
that car in high school.
Really?
If I knew Jen in high school, I would have been so impressed.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that car was so cool. Because you know what that car is? That car is like, it's rock steady. Like a trustworthy uncle.
Oh, well,
Nope.
I
wouldn't
know.
say uncle.
I'm not going to go with that.
Maybe a trustworthy like teacher, like history teacher.
Good, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I strived to be when I was a kid.
Nice.
You know, Mary would actually show up to school 10 minutes early so she could talk to the teacher.
I liked school.
What were you talking about?
I'd be like, "How was your weekend?"
Oh my God.
And,
wow.
Oh,
And yeah, I was a little bit of a
Wow.
teacher's pet.
Oh
But
my God.
listen, I never grew out of it. So
Mary went to the DMV. She showed up 10 minutes early and be like, so how are those registrations
actually,
going?
you know what? I showed up 10 minutes early to the DMV and I clocked in. Is that
You clocked it?
I put my appointment number in there, and my appointment was at 9. I put my appointment number at 8:50. Like literally, as soon as the ticket printed, it was like T39 to desk 6, and I was like, and I literally said out loud, "That was fast." And the guy behind me like, "Whatever, that's not important." And then I go in there, and you know what time I left the DMV?
What?
9:03.
Wow.
3 minutes after my appointment was supposed to happen. Now, was that the end of the story? No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Never
Because I
is.
went home and then I like tried to prove it to my bank and because I was getting like an auto loan or whatever. And they're like, "Oh no, you actually need these things too." And I was like, "Well, the DMV didn't tell me that I needed those things."
Do you want to hear something crazy?
I do.
She went to this DMV. They didn't ask for proof of insurance. They didn't ask for an emissions test. They just gave her plates.
Yeah. They're like, "You want a state park pass?" Thank you,
What?
Cole. I did get one.
What DMV did you go to where they just didn't care? But on the other hand, they're like asking for your unborn children's documents.
Yeah. It was up north.
Up
Things-
north. Interesting.
Once you get past the Mason-Dixon line in the
They're
States,
like, whatever.
things really change.
I don't
Here's
really
the other
care.
thing though. I think this could have been part of it. I used to work at the DMV.
They knew. They're like, that girl,
What?
she
Yeah.
was one of us.
How?
Did
Yeah.
you lead with that?
No. I went in there, I complimented the girl's pants because they were sick pants.
Okay.
And I think she felt disarmed. I think she felt like, wow, someone's being kind. But then she didn't check my proof of insurance or my emissions test, and then she screwed me over by $50. So
Wow.
yeah, they charge you $5 per page of a printed thing. So I had to like print this
Thieves.
promissory note. Is that what that's called?
Permission slip.
Promissory
Promissory note.
I had to print a permission slip. This is my bank's permission slip, so give me money. No, it's not them giving me money, but whatever. So I used to work at the DMV, and I think there was like some sort of energy happening between me and this
They
lady
felt that mutual
at
sadness.
desk 6.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I think when you go to like a place of business, you should be legally required to state whether or not you have worked at a similar place
I like
of
that.
business.
Yeah.
I like that
Well,
a
you know
lot.
how you can tell when somebody was like a waitress or waiter or not based on how they treat waiters and
Yeah,
waitresses?
absolutely. They're
Yeah.
like stacking up their own plates and everything.
You
for-
and I did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I did take, in contrary, I did take like a ethics course. That's not the word. Where you're trying to be like a
Ethics is right, I think.
No,
Oh, cotillion.
cotillion.
Oh.
Like,
That's what it's
bougie. And they were like, it's important.
Clearly it didn't work.
God. Yeah.
Ouch.
No.
Oh.
Would you like some Grey Poupon
So they taught you how to be French?
with your hot dog?
Anyway. I took
Anyway,
cotillion.
yeah, they teach you that like you're not supposed to stack up your plates because it's not polite to stack your plates. Like the person is
Yeah,
supposed
maybe
to,
at a 5-star Michelin restaurant. But
Yeah.
if you're like at a freaking Denny's,
Right.
you should help the
I'm
server
stacking
out.
plates.
Yeah.
Did you ever work in food?
Yeah. Yeah, I worked at a fancy Italian restaurant back home in Chicago.
What was it called?
Biaggi's.
Oh,
my
that is fancy.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's Italian, not
I
French.
love that you.
What? Pretty sure that probably doesn't mean what we think it means.
Isn't this like what like kids do that now? They're, like,
Yeah.
gotta
Oh,
get you to
yeah.
look at
Uh-huh.
it.
Mm-hmm.
As if you didn't know.
These days.
These days.
God, you were born in like 2012, Mary.
Yep, that's my official birthday.
Jeez Louise.
2012.
Anyways, I think that would be good. I think that's why you're treated well at the DMV.
It could be. I mean, I wasn't treated well at the end of the day because she didn't check a bunch of things that she should have checked.
You just walked in, asked for license plates, and they just
Like,
gave
sure.
you license plates.
They were like, cool, that'll be $450. I was like, cool, thanks.
Bored fascism at the DMV.
Yeah, and I was like, can I pay with card? She's like, extra $10 with card.
Of course it is.
And I was like, well, do you think I have $500 of cash on me? They're like, you can write a check. I was like, oh, of course. I forgot my checkbook at home.
Yeah.
Do you have a checkbook?
Also forgot
you?
it in
No,
the
I don't.
1900s.
Guys, I have 3 checkbooks.
Do they all have your name on them?
Yes, I love checks.
Oh my God.
That's
you
a
and my
crazy
mom
piece of
probably both
information.
writing checks at the grocery store.
Jen, do you? That's a crazy thing to do. Do you have a checkbook?
Not anymore.
What happened to it?
You burned it?
Well, I mean, I used them up and I got different bank. Like, there's never been a time where I've needed to write a check.
Have you ever bought checks? First of all, kind of weird you have to buy checks. Did you know that?
Like
yeah.
stamps.
They
Yeah.
used to give them to you with your bank.
So-
And now your banks are like, no.
You
I
buy
think I should,
checks.
like $10, please.
You buy checks, and they don't just like send you a checkbook in like secure mail. They literally send you an envelope full of 6 checkbooks.
Yep.
With like 400 checks in each book, and they just send it in the mail.
Just regular mail.
Just it's in the mailbox for anyone to take.
Wow.
They can
No
have
big deal.
6,000 checks. That's insane.
Do you have like 6 banks?
No, yeah, me and all my money. Oh,
That's how you paid for Cotillion.
she's a Mercedes driver over here.
No, for real. What do you use checks for? I guess you buy and sell a lot of cars.
Yeah, I do that.
That would make sense.
Make me sound like a bougie effer over here.
You kind of are.
Just because I'm wearing a white sweater doesn't mean that I buy a lot of cars, Mary.
And you're on a podcast.
But do you buy a lot of cars?
I do buy a lot
Okay,
of cars,
well,
yeah.
yes. But cheap cars. Like that Range Rover. Thanks, Cole, for making noise back
Wow.
there. Trying to tell
For
us something.
someone who doesn't want to exist ever on camera, he's really trying to be known right now.
Cole, I did get a parks pass.
What are you going to use at park? You're never going to go to a park.
Shut up, Tommy. I will now. I paid
I got a parks
$50
pass
for it.
too.
$30. Did you?
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
ever goes to parks.
I'm going to bring you with me, and I'm going to shove you in the park.
You know what the problem with parks are?
Tell me.
Nothing to do.
Well, I mean, some people might hike.
Oh.
You can
That's
also bring binoculars. That really ups the game.
Yeah. I got a good set of binoculars.
Do you really?
I do, yeah. I got them for my birthday a few years ago. You asked me how many times I've used them.
How many times have you used them? Was somebody like, she's about to be an avid bird
Well,
watcher?
I just I just don't want to carry them with me.
They're
But
heavy.
every time I want to see something far away, I'm like, wish I had my Knox
feel
with
like-
me.
I wish I had that
knocks.
one-time gift.
Binoculars are one of those things that you use as a kid. You never own as a kid. That's key.
No.
Never allowed
You never
to
own
them.
anything as a kid, Tommy.
Well-
Everything is like paid for you until.
Your logic is not welcome here.
All right, I
So
rescind it.
you are allowed to use binoculars as a kid, but then your parents always make sure you put them away because you're going to break them because that's what kids do.
Obviously.
So you use them once, you're very delicate, and then I always put them away and thought, wow, one day I'm going to own those. And then you grew up and you realize, why would I need those?
Why on earth do I
Do
need
you own
binoculars?
a pair of binoculars?
No, because I'm not a pervert.
What
Well,
are you
you
trying to
could-
say, Tommy?
Yeah, what are you going to use those for? I would use them for birds. What are
Listen.
you going to use them for?
No one since 1840 has used binoculars for birds. It's
I would.
only perverts living in New York City.
What about, the ranch? A lot of gophers. You could use
Lot
it
of
to look at the
gophers.
gophers.
Why would I
could.
want to look at my arch nemesis?
I mean,
To get a closer look.
to keep your enemies close, right?
Better
saying.
befriend those
Are you
gophers.
aware that binoculars don't actually make the object closer than it appears?
Oh, they don't?
No, you can only look at them, and I don't want to look at them. In fact, I would want the reverse of them. I turn them upside down so they appear further.
You can. That's great. I
You
love
could,
that trick.
yeah, you could. Now they look, 400 feet away.
So now that the podcast has gone off the rails, we'll explain what we're doing here. We are within the TFL network here, but this is a podcast for people that are car curious, but maybe are not into things like horsepower or axle ratios.
Car adjacent.
Car adjacent, car-ish, if you will.
Car-ish.
We initially wanted to call this Parallel Park,
Which is still a great
I still
segment
think
idea.
it's great.
but we thought that the general American public wouldn't be able to comprehend.
It's hard to parallel park.
They think it's just a podcast about talking about how to parallel park.
I would listen to that. 10 out of 10.
Do you know how to parallel park?
I do. I'm actually pretty good at parallel parking.
You would be.
I had
Slay.
to get really good at it because I worked like kind of in the city and I had like in a restaurant and it was late at night, so there was always a ton of people. And so I had to figure out how to parallel park.
I bet being from Illinois, I forget there's more than Chicago and Illinois. Did you have to parallel park growing up?
I didn't have to, but I have successfully parallel parked.
Was it
Plenty of
was it on
times.
your driver's test? That's this interesting
It
question.
was.
It was.
It was.
Was it on yours?
No.
Yeah, it was on mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My driver's test was the biggest joke.
Really?
I drove around a King Soopers and then parked, and that was it. And they gave me the right to drive 26,000 pounds down the interstate.
I don't want to tell my driving story.
Mary hasn't actually passed her driver's test yet.
It's closer to that than you'd think. Tommy informed me that my job is professional driver, which is so funny.
In retrospect, we never actually checked to see if she has a driver's license.
Wow. Well, you guys are like the DMV,
You did
I guess.
Somebody did. You weren't there. I'm in a different room.
Did you crash the car on your driver's test?
No. So what happened was I went in, and first of all, they were like,
10 minutes early. You were like, how's your weekend?
Nice pants.
yes, all of those things happened. But the guy was like, oh, you actually have to retake the paper test because the one that you took a month ago is now expired. So you have to like retake the test to like determine that you know the rules of the road. So I was like, okay. And at the you could only miss 4 questions.
Yes.
And
It was 25, I think, and you could only miss 4, right?
It was like a pretty high pressured test.
Well,
and it was on the.
you are driving a motor
Yeah,
vehicle.
but I'm 15. I'm so scared. Is it 15, 16?
16 is when you get your driver's license.
She doesn't know. She doesn't have one. But one day she will.
So you're 16 and you're
Right?
scared. You're quaking in your boots because you're trying to pass this test. And this one wasn't like on paper. It was like on the thing, so you could see how many you had gotten wrong so far. So it would tell you immediately.
Ooh.
So I had gotten 3 wrong. We're on question 25 out of 25. The question, I still remember it to this day, was like, there's 2 ways you can avoid a crash. And one was speed up, slow down, or stop. Or it was something like, I don't know.
She remembers a question very well.
Still don't know. Not the
I remember it
answer.
as if it was yesterday. It said,
This is about her memory for yesterday is also about as good as this, so it could have been.
okay. The question was something like, if you don't stop or pull over, what's another way that you can avoid an accident? I think is what it said. And I was like toggling between like speed up or slow down. And I selected speed up because sometimes I can stop it. And
Yeah.
it was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So then I was like,
Nice work.
sick. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to get a car driving license.
Yes. Not.
That's
I
the
don't think they
CDL.
give out cars. Yeah.
What's the CDL?
It's for like semi trucks or like.
I knew that because I worked at the DMV. And I used to ask people if they had.
Yeah. Well, that's what that is.
Mary was the kind of person at the DMV to just hand out plates like her. I was like, wow, who would do this? Turns out I'm sitting next to the person that wouldn't check anything.
I didn't give out any license plates for the record. I was like the receptionist. I like sat at the front and I was like, hello.
That person, by the way, most useless job in the world.
Yeah.
No offense to you or your profession.
Fully agree.
Does nothing.
Has that person been replaced with like the ticket kiosk thing?
Largely.
Yeah,
think so.
mostly.
Anyway, so keep going. So you got your paper test.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, you can get in the car. I was like, okay. So I get in the car and this guy is in a bad mood.
Oh,
I
no.
can tell right off the bat. He was just not happy. And we do the whole test, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I did great. I'm like, I aced that. We pull back into like the DMV parking lot and he like kind of goes, and he goes, so, and I like in my head, I'm like, oh, like, what did I do? And he was like, so you blew through a stop sign.
Oh,
and I was like, I did? Like, where? Like, and I like had no recollection of there being a stop sign that I missed. And he goes, if you had attempted to stop, he's like, if you had put your foot anywhere near the brake, I would have
Wow.
passed you.
It's real bad, Mary.
Yeah. And I went back, well, like, of course I was like,
You went
very
back
sad.
to verify that the
Yeah,
stop
I was
sign.
very sad. I was very angry. So I went back to look, and there was in fact a stop sign where he said there was, but it was behind a tree branch.
Oh,
Come
wow.
on.
So it wasn't super visible. It was still fully my fault. I still take full responsibility for blowing through. But this guy was like, he was in a bad mood, and then he was in a worse mood because he had to tell me I didn't pass. Cut to the second time I'm taking my driver's license test.
Oh, no. Mary.
It's at a different like organization because I was like, maybe I'll have better luck here.
She's in a different country.
I climb into the car. This is in my red Chevy Blazer. Because you could either use like one of the cars like they had, or you could use your own car. And I was like,
But
well,
after the first time, she was like, I'm not using that car again.
nope. I stuck with Clifford. I said, he's got me.
Well.
So we climb into the car. And so the lady sits next to me and I'm like ready to go. And she goes, 1 second. I'm like, okay. The back door opens. Another person climbs in.
Excuse.
And I'm like, hello? Who are you? And she's like, he's learning how to be a driving like checker.
Oh,
God.
So I had,
Oh, no.
so I'm driving around and she's like, this one will be 17B. Okay, Mary, go ahead and turn left up here. So I'm like listening to these people like grade me. And I'm also clocking which number it is on the paper. And so at the end, I pull in, she's like, okay, so I'm like, you there's no way this is happening to me right now. And she's like, so you tried to stop at one of the stop signs, but you didn't stop fully.
Oh my God.
She's like, the ground didn't stop moving beneath us. And I was like, so one guy says, if you attempted to stop, I would have passed you. And this lady is like, the ground didn't stop beneath us.
What a terrible way to put that.
Yeah. And so she was like, oh, no driving license for you.
Oh my gosh.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. So it was a bad day for Mary. Third time.
Oh my God.
Now there's a fourth person in the car, both rear door opens.
I drive through 6 stoplights.
The head of the Department of Transportation hops in. Feels like we need to reevaluate.
The mayor is in the car with me. I don't remember the third one because I passed it very, very easily.
I passed out.
She stopped for 14 seconds at that stop sign.
Yeah. No, it was a traumatic time. I remember the first time I failed it, I called my best friend and I was like, I failed it. Like I was in tears. And she was like, I got in a car accident. And I was like, so I had to like diminish my experience and like make sure she was okay.
Wow, that's
Yeah. rough.
I, in contrast, got the highest score ever recorded by the driver's license
Not surprised.
agency.
Wow.
And I got 23 out of 25 possible points, whatever those were. And the reason he knocked 2 down is because he said I touched a lane, but I think he didn't want to fill my ego. But that guy was wrong because my ego is fuller than it's ever been.
Since I was 16.
I'm broadcasting this story to an audience of literally 4 or 5 people. So
Yeah, not
screw
too
you,
much
guy.
right now.
Yeah, really, really, really impressive.
I think we should go on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you pass your driver's license
Yeah,
first time?
so
Yeah, tell us your story.
So interestingly, the first time I went, I didn't even get to take the license or didn't get to take the test.
Because she was
I
working at
waited,
DMV,
yeah,
she
right.
gave it to you.
It's like, we don't need anything else. Here you go.
I don't think she was old enough to do that yet.
Yeah, there's a chance I wasn't in the world yet.
No, I waited in line forever. I was in my mom's car, and then as soon as it was my turn, they're like, "Oh, you can't use this car because it doesn't have a front plate on."
What?
So I had to drive all the way back home and then get a different car, come all the way back, and then pass with flying colors.
Nice, Jen.
Obviously.
Put it there.
Obviously.
Yeah, so I'm a videographer editor here. I would just like to say I'm not driving the cars very much.
Mary, that's correct.
Listen, Mary.
No, Mary is a very good driver. I've driven with her a couple times, and I am very, very satisfied every time I get in the car with you.
Great.
That's the worst way I could have put that. That was really, really bad.
No.
What he's saying is I
no.
obey the laws now.
There are some interesting things, by the way. This really sticks with me. Like when so did you take the course, like the driving course?
I did the online one.
Okay. Did you take the driving course?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get my permit at if you wanted to get it at 15, you had at exactly 15. You had to take an in-person class of 14 and a half. And it was like a 2-week intensive course. Like it was, and there's a lot of stuff they teach you, which I still think about. Like one of the things they teach you is before you get behind the wheel of any motor vehicle, you're supposed to do a 360 walk around, check all the headlights, all the turn signals.
I remember when they said that.
all the tires.
And you do that now.
yeah, every
Since
time.
I was like,
Tommy's
Tommy,
out
why
there
are you in the
kicking
car yet? And
tires.
he's like over on the other side. He's like, 1 second.
I gotta check the tire pressure over here. Honestly, it was crazy. And then you had to take like 8 hours of in-person behind the wheel instruction. Too.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
probably why you guys passed.
I
Yeah.
think that was a
Yeah.
factor. But there was like some stuff which kind of antiquated, but it's still good practice. Like Mary, if you're parallel parked on a hill, right? And there's a curb on your right side, which way are you supposed to turn the wheel?
Like my first turn.
No, when you park, did you know you're not supposed to parallel park with your wheel straight? You want them turned at an angle.
Is that so that you don't hit the car right behind you? And if you're like,
If your parking brake fails,
yeah,
you roll into the curb.
that's a handy piece of information.
Did they teach you the saying for it?
No, what's the saying?
Up, up, and away. So if your car is facing up, you turn your wheel away from the curb.
Nice. I
Up,
like
up, and
that.
away.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So yeah, I
Mary's
didn't
cars
take-
just go right into the car behind her.
I didn't know that phrase. I remember from the online course, they really there were like really scarring like videos that they would use to
Ours
like
too.
like encourage you to be safe, which is great. I love safe driving.
Yeah.
One of them that I remember was the one that said that you will crash in the last mile of your drive home. Like they're like, that's when people like
You will.
That's when people like get a little
gonna
lackadaisical.
happen.
That's when you're gonna crash. that's when you're gonna lose it.
I've
And
heard
so,
that too.
To this day, when I'm like close to my house, I like get alert. I'm like, I will not crash in the last mile.
That
10 and
stuff
2.
sticks with you.
Yeah,
with you.
no, I remember learning that too.
The acronym I remember was SMOG, which is not about dangerous greenhouse gases, but rather about changing lanes. Is signal mirror over the shoulder go. So turn signal mirror over the shoulder go. Pretty clever.
good.
That's pretty good.
And do you remember this? This was an immediate fail on my driver test. Every time you went into an intersection, if it was a green light, you had to turn your head left, right, left to make sure there wasn't a car coming from either direction. Every intersection, or it was
That's
a
kind
fail.
of crazy to do at every intersection.
But it's kind of a good idea.
No, it is a good idea.
Turns out these driving people,
Yeah, they run red lights.
those
Yeah.
1980s books I read about the subject, they were good. The big hair and the manual transmissions.
Accurate.
Remember, we spent a whole day on manual transmissions. And why?
Oh, I don't think we ever really learned about manual transmissions at all in my driver's ed class.
Really?
No, I just had to learn from my dad.
You know, my wife Morgan, she learned how to drive a manual transmission on her driving test.
What?
Isn't that crazy? She didn't really know how to do it. She only knew like the principles. Her dad gave her his car, which was a manual Civic, and said, "Go take this test," and she passed.
Of course she did.
Well, it
Isn't
helps
that
that it was a
crazy?
Civic. Those are
Of
pretty
course
easy.
she did.
Gearboxes and everything.
It was an SI.
Does she still know how?
She doesn't
fall
want to
out?
try.
Okay.
She's a little nervous to try. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Are you going to learn?
Are you going to teach me?
I would love to.
I will
I've
love to
taught
learn.
plenty of ex-boyfriends how to drive manual.
That's badass. High five.
It's a good thing to leave them with. Every time they shift it into the right, they're like, damn it.
And she teaches
do
them
better.
wrong.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to teach them
They
so they
grind the
destroy
gears so
the
bad.
car.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it was always taught on my Mercedes, so I don't want them messing
Her
up.
and her Mercedes.
I don't
one.
want them messing up my gears.
She's like, when I'm going to the country club, you are not messing up my gears. On the way to fondue, there will not be
Or
a
no, at Bougetoni's.
on my $1,300 car.
What was the restaurant you worked at?
Belugawinis.
Biaggi's.
I was closer.
Biage.
Biaggi's.
Belugawinis? Bougetoni's. Biaggi's.
That sounds like a. Did you have like an outfit you had to wear to this?
No, it was just dressed nice.
That's
It was,
disappointing.
It was pretty
See,
cash.
we also learned this in Curmudgeon,
Cotillion.
about like I don't know why they were teaching us about like what waiters should wear, but like about like formal black outfits.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was pretty much just a lot
just
of
a
black.
lot of black, yeah.
A lot of black.
Which is better because you get like sweaty and
Yeah.
nervous.
Mm.
And if you're wearing black, nobody knows if you're nervous.
Speaking of sweaty and nervous, I was in the car the other day, and I was thinking about features because we are in this industry.
Yeah.
Mary obviously doesn't drive, but she's also in this industry.
She still hasn't passed her test.
And we like these companies come out with all these new features, like they're like this heads-up display or like all these little things inside a car that seem cool, and you're like, when am I ever going to use this?
Right.
So I came up with a list of features that I think would be actually useful, and things like a car trash can.
Brilliant.
Oh, okay. So like, because they do offer like accessories
Yeah, it's not
for
good
you know a
enough.
trash
It should
can,
be
but
built
what,
in.
like
Built
built
in.
in? Where would it be built
Like
in?
where everybody puts their trash anyway. In the
Just in
like
the
in the side door.
The side door
In
pockets.
the door.
Yeah.
That's
Door-
great.
Could be like a little push button open flap thing.
Yeah, so it doesn't smell.
So Volvo does this. Cole, if you look up the XC40 and look up Volvo XC40 trash can, there's a trash can that lives kind of by the cup holders, but it's like this big. See, there it is.
Okay.
It slots in.
Wow.
I kind of feel like I wouldn't want it that close to me though. Like I would want it closer to my like feet
Yeah.
than my elbow.
Good point.
Oh,
And it's
interesting.
tiny. What are you going to put in that?
Wrappers, I guess.
Yeah.
So car trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Other one,
That's a good one.
condiment holder.
Condiment holder. So there are like gifts that you can buy
Right.
that does that for you. You like
We've-
put it into the vent.
We've experienced
We've
this.
experienced that.
And I had mixed reviews.
What's your concern?
I
here,
liked
Jen?
that it made your condiments readily available. However, some of the condiments, like
There it is.
Sauce
the
Moto.
ketchup packets, some of them wouldn't fit into the holder itself. So now you've got to squeeze out all of the ketchup into the holder itself. Now you've got just like ketchup filled plastic in your car.
It also just feels like the loneliest invention. Like, what do you mean
Yeah.
there's not somebody in your passenger seat like holding
Yeah.
it for you?
That's absurd. When you were in your car, you have your boyfriend hold your sauce
course
for
she
you.
does.
I do.
Of course
Do
she
you
does.
really?
Yeah.
No.
she does.
Well, it's just or if I'm driving, if I'm not driving, I'll hold it.
Do you think Morgan's holding sauce for me? No, absolutely not. Listen, that is absurd.
Well, that
Mary.
sounds like a you problem, Tommy.
Mary's like, I'm the driver, and they taught me on my driving test on the 5th time that the passenger holds the sauce. So like Dexter is there holding
Yeah.
the sauce. Wow,
What a man.
What a great man. So if you're listening to the podcast, what we're looking at is essentially a little baby cradle that clips onto. I don't see babies very often.
Yeah. That's obvious now.
But they clips into your air vents. My issue with this is, say, never eat and drive, obviously. No one would ever do that. But say you're parked and it's cold. So you got the heat on. Your ketchup is going to be hot.
Ooh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's bad.
That's
Yeah,
not.
no,
it's
I
not
don't like
great
that.
placement.
That's not good.
I don't like that.
So here's my suggestion.
You got it. One more time.
I mean what you know.
Suggestion
Suggestion. There you go.
is build the little container into the dashboard.
Would it be removable?
Yeah, it's also
Because you need to clean it.
dirty.
You want to clean it.
Yeah, okay. I guess squirting ketchup into
This
your
feels like
dashboard.
a
also-
feature that we like climb into like a Denali and they're like, also there's condiment holders, and we're like, why?
For an extra $30,000.
Exactly, for sure.
What about this? So the Chrysler, what was that thing called? Not the PT Cruiser, the 200C, the one before. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It had heated and cooled cup holders.
That is such a luxury.
I think that would be in a
It is-
Chrysler.
yeah, that is such a nice thing to have.
Imagine that in a condiment holder, so you can have
Wow.
cold ketchup.
I guess
What
you
kind of
could be onto
condiment
something.
needs to be hot?
That's a good question. There's probably a couple. Horseradish, hot.
To taste, not to temperature.
I don't want cold horseradish.
Also, what meal are you having in your car that requires hot horseradish?
Tommy's like, 1 second, let me get my heated horseradish.
At what point does it go from condiment to seasoning? Is horseradish a condiment or is that a seasoning?
I would say that's a condiment. To me, seasoning is like spices.
Like horseradish?
Well, are you talking about like horseradish
Like my condiment,
sauce?
dill.
Oh no.
Dill sauce. Okay, next thing I want to implement, small cup holders for those little mini cans.
Okay.
It's okay.
Do you think that it can somehow already be fixed? Because a lot of the cup holders will have like
Inserts.
inserts that like are flexible.
Damn it, you're right.
So that it can hold a smaller one or a big old water
But
bottle.
what you're saying
too.
is you want the car to do it for you.
But you want an actual like tiny can.
Here's what
holder.
I'm imagining. You know how the center console has 2 cup holders?
Mhm.
Give me 12 of different sizes.
Like a
That's
Russian
what
doll.
I want.
The
Yes.
Russian doll
No.
situation getting smaller.
Your whole center is filled with holes. That's.
Yep.
I like how I'm coming up with these ideas and Cole is just finding products that already
Yeah.
exist to put on the. All right, Cole, find this one. Projectors and headlights so you can play
Ooh.
movies when you park.
Not while driving.
What about just
though,
putting a
right?
projector on top of the hood?
Like a wart. It's just like
Yeah, like a
just
warp.
like a pimple on the hood. That's right. This car does have projectors as headlights. Cole, you
What?
Wow.
Yes, and Audi did this too. But this is such a good idea. We all like driving movies. Pull up to a barn or a garage, and instead of going inside to watch the movie, watch it in the driveway.
I mean,
That sounds awful. Now that I'm saying it.
No, I think it could be fun. You get some like camping chairs set up or
I pitched this to Mary earlier, and her response was, so you just like see Jack Black before you die on the highway?
No. That was because Cole thought that you were like projecting a movie onto the road from the headlights.
Also a good idea.
No. That's when I was like, so the
That's-
last thing
that's
before you
bad.
die is just Jack Black in School of Rock and then head on collision.
Why couldn't that work though?
That's the last thing I want to see before I die.
Why do lights all have to be the same boring shade of white? Why can't they be School of Rock? What color are headlights? Jumanji.
Okay. No.
It's a good idea.
I think you should stop talking.
Dog seatbelts and litter boxes built into the car.
okay, listen. I have a story about litter boxes. I had a customer once where she brought in her car to be serviced, and she was sitting in the lobby with her cat, and the technicians came to tell me that there was a litter box in the front seat. Not clean litter box.
In the front seat.
In the front seat. What are people doing out there? That's wild. But
She
she was
must be
just like,
lonely, that's
she was
your
just sitting in the lobby with her little cat, and like, that's fine, whatever. But like, did you have to bring the cat while you got the car serviced so that it had to have a litter box in the car while techs are working on it? That's just wrong.
Did you see the rest of the car? I'm really curious to
bad.
see.
It was bad.
It was bad, huh?
It was there's litter everywhere.
Now, was the cat in a carrier or was the cat?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Holding the cat.
That's egregious.
Holding the cat.
I don't think a litter box inside of a car is a good idea because I think it would be really hard to get that smell out of the car.
Can you imagine like stopping fast?
So turns out,
First you hear
just
two
litter
thuds. One is the cat and the other is the litter box.
Can you imagine cleaning that up?
It's like dunk, dunk. Then, meow.
that's horrible. The cat hits the windshield and then the litter hits the windshield.
Meanwhile, the dog is seat belted in the back seat.
That was my other idea. Yes, dog seatbelt.
And he's like, doesn't sound good back there.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's like, I got my own climate control.
Listen, the only thing that would make an accident worse is some cat doo-doo in the back of the neck.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Imagine the last thing you see is just a cat turd flying through the air.
Oh my God.
Okay, bad idea.
Not a good one.
What's my? That was it. Did you have any feedback for my car ideas?
Well, it sounds like a lot of them are good ideas, so good that a lot of them have already been invented.
And some of them are bad. So we have determined I have accomplished nothing.
How would you have done a litter box in the trunk?
So here's what I think. You know how a lot of cars now have underfloor storage?
Yes.
Have a little cubby that slides away, and there you've got the litter box. It's got a seal on it, so
I have a
there's no
question,
smell.
though.
What?
In what world are you driving for long enough where you can't just take your cat outside and let it go outside?
Can I tell you one of my biggest fears? Cat pee in a car.
But you want to have a litter box in the car.
Listen, in my mind, if there's a litter box
Training
in the car,
cat to pee in the car.
if there's a litter box in the car, the cat can't pee anywhere but the litter box.
That's what you like to think.
That's what our cat does.
Okay.
And also, one time I thought our cat had to pee, so I put the cat outside, and the cat, it would be like me trying to pee in front of strangers. It would never happen. The cat will not pee unless it's in the litter box.
I see.
Best cat ever. Her name's Nova.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Named after, not the car, but damn it, I should have said that on this podcast. It would have been good. Named after the car. Do you know what a Nova is? It's made by
Samson.
Chevrolet.
So close.
I love how you know.
Samsonite.
You know all the
Way off.
car brands, and you went with Samson.
I thought maybe you like Henry Ford, a real person.
Oh,
Samson Burgelli.
Burgelli. That's where she worked.
That's where she worked. Burgelli's.
Also so close.
So I think the cat litter box would A, fix any hazard of the cat peeing in the car or the crate, and B, you could seal it off so you don't have to look at it. Not a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, but I like your
It's
enthusiasm.
definitely a bad idea.
Definitely a bad idea. Okay.
How often are people traveling with cats to facilitate
Guys.
an entire litter box?
That's what I'm saying.
Game changer. What do you hate more than anything?
Ooh, this feels like a trap. What do I hate more than anything?
Anything in this world.
Anything in this whole world, something I hate.
Yes. The one correct answer.
Do we get deep with this or?
Yeah, seriously, I have a bunch of fears I could rattle off.
Name one.
Fears?
Yes.
Oh God. You got to tell me what I'm supposed to say.
Tailgating. You hate tailgating.
Oh, I hate-
Tailgaters are the worst.
Like people who ride
Your butt while you're
okay,
driving.
not like partying at a game.
I love a good tailgate. When,
I was like,
Okay, not
some
that.
country music.
like
Your
that's not
cat
so
would
bad.
love it more if they had a place to pee. But my point is, you hate tailgaters. What do you do to fix that? Empty your litter box on the tailgater.
Wow.
So in your universe,
wow.
emptying the tail.
Entering,
Hold on, let me stop. Emptying the litter box
Yes.
entails the moving car opening a flap where all of the litter flies back.
tell me that's not brilliant.
Wow.
It's I guess so.
That's better than cleaning your windshield.
That's true.
You know, when
Cleaning your
the
windshield.
passive aggressive.
Oh, my
shooting
windshield's
your
suddenly
windshield wiper
dirty.
fluid.
You're telling me if you were tailgating someone and you got hit with a clump of cat piss, you wouldn't slow down?
Ooh.
I would slow down and I could die.
That's the intro to the podcast right there. Cole rolled that down.
No, don't write that down, Cole. Stop writing, Cole.
I think that's brilliant.
Listen.
I really think
Listen, Tommy, you have a lot of ideas. You do. You do.
this is what my third grade teacher said as well.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me to go stand in the
it's
corner
just that
with Daniel?
You're full of knowledge. And listen, I want to see how much knowledge you are in fact full of
Let's hit it.
because I have a lot of trivia questions.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, some of them are number based, so whichever one of you is closer will get that point. There's
Oh,
20 questions.
Okay.
5 of them are multiple choice. The others are just like free reign. You have to know. All right?
And if you get 4 of them wrong, you have to take your test again.
Shut up, Tom. mean. Okay. Do you want to just like slap the table? You know the answer.
Jen has a buzzer. Oh wait, as like a I got it.
Yeah, like pick me.
Well, we could probably.
I'll
we
just
could probably
decide.
Just do that.
You guys can decide amongst the two.
Okay,
of
we
you.
will look at each other because I think this will drive the podcasters crazy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, what is the most popular car color worldwide?
I'm between two.
Well, you can't say them
I
both.
know. I know.
Jen's very bad at trivia.
You
All right, I got it.
Okay, Tommy.
Survey says white.
Correct.
I was between.
Oh,
Shoot.
that's what you were debating? White and black?
White and black, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, black's pretty popular too.
It is?
Most of my cars. Are
Okay,
black.
number 2. Now, also bear in mind, I got these off the internet, and they could be very outdated and or wrong.
Okay.
And also, I will absolutely butcher a lot of these pronunciations. So if I say it wrong, just let me know. Okay, what is the top speed of the Bugatti Chiron?
Chiron.
Chiron.
I'm gonna say 254.
And you have to guess too, because it's a number.
I'm going to say 251.
254 versus 251. The correct answer is 261. So you were closer.
Wow, nice, Jen.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, number 3.
It's pretty fast.
That's very fast.
Imagine the
which-
litter at that speed. Sorry.
Oh no. In which year did the first ever Porsche 911 model debut?
Oh, that's in the that's
1963.
This is also a number, so you both get to guess.
I'm gonna say 65.
All right, so that's a bummer because it's 64. It's right in the middle. It's right in the, I'll give you both a point.
Okay, we both get a point.
Or nobody gets a point. What do we think?
I don't care.
Give us both a point.
Okay, yeah. We want to add. We don't want to subtract. Okay. Good job, guys. You're tied right now. Okay. In which year did the first ever NASCAR race take place?
Okay. This is interesting because I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to guess.
So listen, do you know where NASCAR came from?
Learn me.
So you're going to find this interesting too.
Okay.
Prohibition, rough time for America.
Yeah.
You couldn't drink.
Yeah.
Bootleggers in the South would distill moonshine in like the woods and in their cabins. And then they would transport the moonshine in their cars, which they would design so that if they got pulled over, police couldn't find the moonshine. So they would like build cutouts into the trunk and hide moonshine in them. But the police got savvy. So the bootleggers situation was just to go as fast as hell. So that's where like the Ford V8 got its origin in the 30s, is it was faster than the police. But then the bootleggers were like, I bet my bootleg car is faster than yours. And then they would settle it on dirt oval tracks. And NASCAR started.
That's super
Wow.
interesting.
Isn't that cool?
I
So
love that
NASCAR.
history.
Thanks, Prohibition.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 1939.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 1948.
The correct answer is 1948.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
According
There's
to this,
no way.
you said 1948.
Jen, good work.
Wow.
Really, really good, Jen.
It hasn't gotten any more interesting since 1948.
Wow.
It's the end of it.
It's so NASCAR
Okay. What is the primary purpose of a car's catalytic converter?
though. For emissions.
She's faster. Give her the point.
All right, Jen's ahead.
You said that right, by the way.
Thank you. I
Good
practiced
work.
that one. Catalytic. Okay. What is the first commercially available car with adaptive cruise control, and in what year?
Ooh, I think it was a Mercedes-Benz in 1990. That come out 1994.
Okay, I'm going to give you this point
Okay.
because it was the Mercedes-Benz S-Class.
Yes.
And it was in 1999.
Wow. Pretty close.
That was
Yeah.
good, Tommy.
Pretty close. Really good,
That was
Tommy.
good.
Okay. What was the first production car to feature a V8 engine?
This is a good one.
I'm thinking old, big, like boats.
I think you're
and
right.
that makes me think of like caddies.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Go with it.
I'm gonna say Cadillac.
Mhm.
I don't know what model it was. though.
Cadillac Model 51.
Wow.
Really
up?
good, Jen.
Okay.
Jen.
She's killing it.
She's doing good.
Let's go.
Okay. Which classic car is known for its distinctive suicide doors?
Oh, Lincoln Continental.
Fast.
Lincoln
Jen!
Continental. That's one of my dream cars.
It's a really good one.
Also, the last four-door convertible ever made.
I know. Well, I mean,
You can't have fun with friends outside.
Don't they have different names for those doors now? Now it's
Yes, they're coach doors.
coach doors.
Yes.
Because like an old timey Coach.
Yes. But I think the reason they were called suicide doors originally is because if they opened on the highway at speed, really bad news because they go.
Oh yeah.
So like if your door opens at speed, it just kind of plops open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would
If it, but
pull
it
it
would
off the
blow.
hinges.
Yeah, exactly. Bad news.
Okay. Nice. Cool.
We're doing good.
What car did Marty McFly drive in the Back to the Future film
I'll
series?
let you have it, Tommy.
It's Marty McFly. Are we talking about
Marty McFly?
Okay, now hold up here.
Oh, good. That's true.
Because this is a little bit of a hot take. Mary's like, shoot.
well,
I only have one answer
But-
written down.
but Marty, it wasn't his car, but it's. Are they talking about the time machine?
Or are they talking
Or
about
are they
the
talking about his
truck?
truck?
Yeah.
So what car did he drive?
Well,
Hmm.
I mean, the movie is about a specific car.
It's about the DeLorean.
It's about the DeLorean.
DMC-12.
Yes.
But Marty drove like an 85 Toyota truck.
Mm-hmm.
So which one are you going with?
The first one.
Okay.
Okay.
Mary's like, it's not this deep, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna give. I guess
Car's
you
not
got
about
it
the
word
Toyota.
for word, letter
Yeah.
for letter. DeLorean DMC-12. So that one's for Tommy.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was really good. Okay. Which movie features a red Ferrari 250 GT California as a central plot
Ferris
point?
Bueller's Day Off, baby.
And what do you quote all the time?
choice.
So choice.
That's from Ferris
So
Bueller?
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't say Bueller.
Well, no, that's a
No,
common
she does
one,
a
but
deep cut. So choice.
Do you know what that car was in real life? It was so that car actually went out the window in that movie,
sad.
but it wasn't actually Ferrari. It
Oh.
was they took a Triumph and they made it look like a
Oh.
Ferrari.
It's like
Oh.
Cameron's dad's car,
That-
right?
yeah,
yeah.
because that car's worth like many millions.
Yeah, millions.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
almost as much as your V6 RAV4.
Almost. Which is kind of expensive right now.
Kind of, yeah.
She's pretty peppy, you know.
Okay. Which car brand features a logo with 4 interlocking rings?
Audi.
Fast.
Yeah.
Come on.
Audi.
Come on.
I was thinking
Tommy,
of
you know
Auto
these.
Union for some reason. I was like, Hork. It's a real company. It might be Horsch.
Okay. Whatever. Okay. What car brand uses the slogan, the power of dreams?
Oh, this is a dumb one. It's like Honda or something, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't even. Don't
Honda.
even know.
That's a bad slogan.
That's
The
stupid.
power of dreams. Oh, there's lots of different ways you can say that. The power of dreams.
That's
power
you just
of
said it the same
dreams.
Or
way.
you can do the power of dreams.
Mary's just describing the
Sounds more
difference
like a
between
ram.
men and women over here.
Okay, I can do a better one. The power of dreams.
There you go. That's it.
That was horrible. Please don't include that, Cole.
Cole, make that the beginning, please.
That's our new slogan.
The power of dreams. TFL.
What you got next?
Who was the first woman to drive solo across the United States in 1909?
Okay. I'm going to say not a modern name. It's going to be like Gertrude Van Housen.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you have any guesses?
Beatrice.
Good.
Smith.
Cool. Neither one of you guys got that one. Her name was Alice Hyler Ramsey.
Wow.
And the car itself was a 4-cylinder, 30 horsepower, 1909 Maxwell DA.
Oh, I love the Maxwell DA.
And so she grew up in like New Jersey, and she drove like 600 miles. And this guy who was from Maxwell, was like, "Hey, I have an idea. What if you do an all expenses paid trip, courtesy of the company? If we prove that Maxwell could take anyone, even a woman driver, all the
Even
way
a
across
woman.
America."
That's terrible.
Even
yeah.
a real life woman, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
404 error. We
Error.
can't find the page. You know what my favorite feature in the Maxwell
Oh, what
DA
a
is?
beaut.
It looks like something that would be in a cartoon.
Cole, look up
Mhm.
Alice Hyler Ramsey.
Could you find a harder name to pronounce?
And it's spelled Huyler. Like Huyler?
Wow.
Wheeler.
That's actually a really badass move, though. I'm super
Isn't
glad
that
she
cool?
did that in 1909.
Yeah.
Super
Look at
cool.
that.
Oh, she is so
Wow.
cool.
What a BA.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's a
piece of
real life
trivia.
woman there.
Look at
Could you
that.
imagine driving across the U.S. in 1909?
No, that's insane.
Where would you stop to pee?
Anywhere. The litter
Oh my
box.
The litter box in the trunk.
Built in.
I have huge respect for her. That's amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
It's really cool.
So neither one of you got that one.
Well, who was closer?
Technically she was, because she said Beatrice. And her
Okay,
name's
got
Alice.
it. Got it.
Cool pictures though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Why is the license plate number so high? Were there really 40,627 cars on the road in 1909 in New Jersey?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
That car looks dumb, though.
She looks awesome.
She looks awesome, but
looks-
the
I
car
looks
looks
that
dumb.
jacket.
All right, what
Okay,
else you got?
Okay. What is the record for the highest price ever paid for a classic car at an auction?
I think. Oh, we're looking for a number, right?
And the car.
Okay. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking like 30 mil.
So here's the thing. I think that previous to this past year, it was like a Ferrari 250 GTO, and it was like 48 million. But I want to say that a Mercedes single seat race car just topped it at like 40. I'm going 49 million.
Okay, so I'm going to give you like mad props because you got exactly right. It was a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO for 48.4 million.
And that's still the highest?
Well, according to this website.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
It
We'll
might
go
be a
with
little
it.
old.
No.
So you might be
we'll go with
right that the other one
I knew it was
has-
about 48 million.
That's incredible.
Pretty close. Not exactly the same, but pretty close to the car that Ferris drove through the window.
Well,
Which would be a bummer.
All right.
Oh my God, could
So
you
Jen's
imagine?
ahead by 2 points right now.
Oh, it's a nail biter.
that's surprising.
What was the first car company to introduce a navigation system?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
It
He
wasn't
pointed
Tesla.
at you. Was it Tesla?
It
Jen?
was not Tesla.
It is not what you think it is. I think I know what it is, but I could be wrong.
I'd just be guessing. I don't know.
Well, take a guess.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is Honda.
Shut the front door.
Was that what you were going to say?
I was going to say the Mazda Uno's Cosmo, but here's the thing. That may have been the first production one.
Okay.
So let's go with Honda.
We could give you both a point for
No,
that.
no,
Wow,
give Jen the point.
No. We can share points.
Okay. We'll give Jen that one.
Share points.
What is this, the
What is this?
YMCA?
Everyone
Everyone's
gets a
a
trophy.
winner. Not in my game show. There are winners and losers. Okay, we have entered the multiple choice section.
Ooh, scary.
And actually, I'm gonna not give you a multiple choice unless you need it.
Okay, I like this.
So if you're like, we need help, we're
I
gonna
need
phone a
help.
friend. Okay. Henry Ford, obviously.
Not a great guy.
No, he's
Built.
kind of mean.
Over 15 million Model Ts. What car finally broke that production record?
Oh, I've got two different cars I'm thinking. Oh no, 15 million. First I was going to say the Fiat, but that was like 4 million.
I think you're overthinking it. It's an obvious one.
All right, Tommy, tell us what you
I
think
think
it
it's
is.
the Volkswagen Beetle.
It is the
That's
Volkswagen
what I'm
Beetle.
thinking.
But the Fiat's a good guess.
That
That
was-
Fiat
yeah.
500 told a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. The okay, this one you won't know.
Mary hit a middle C there.
Perfect. Yeah.
The starter Bendix was invented by Victor Bendix, and the Phillips head screw was invented by Henry Frank Phillips, who invented the Woodruff key.
What?
Do you want the names?
Roger
Do you want the
Woodruff.
names?
Yes, can you please give us
Okay, the names are as follows: A. William Woodruff, B. Harley Earl, C. Merle Haggard, or D. Woodrow Ruffin.
Okay, now the last one is asinine. Woodrow Ruffin?
Yeah, it's a real guy.
I'm going to go with B.
I'm going to go with A.
It is A.
Jen,
William Woodruff.
it
The
was
Woodruff
the Woodruff
key.
Well, I thought you threw me a curveball.
Oh, that's so fair. I would.
Harley Earl was a designer in, he was a famous GM head of design that like pioneered a lot of 1950s and 40s designs. He's a cool dude.
Nice. Woodrow Ruffin
Woodrow Ruffin
is a different guy.
is a mascot at McDonald's. What is that? Pause for a sec. What's that mascot at McDonald's I didn't know about? Hoopy the Hoopter.
That was me, Tommy.
The
purple guy?
yes.
Oh,
Jeffrey the Jufin. No, God.
so-
Can you cut that goal?
His name is Grimace.
Grimace.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing I've ever
like,
seen
what
in my
even
whole
is
life.
this supposed to be?
Grimace is Woodrow Ruffin's nephew. Actually, Cole, can you look up
He's
Woodrow
like a purple
Ruffin?
cookie monster.
Is that a real person?
Do you like that thing, Jen?
Grimace?
Yeah.
I think he's
Ooh,
kind of cute.
It's
I
just
hate
weird and
him.
uncomfortable.
Woodrow Ruffin.
I don't
Oh, he's
understand.
real.
He's a real guy.
No, wait, go to the. Huh. Discover people named Woodrow Ruffin. That's
Cole,
terrifying.
can you look up one more thing for me? Look up the original Michelin Man. Have you seen this,
Oh,
Jen?
yeah. this is
Aw, That's
terrifying.
what babies look like.
No,
Oh,
it is not.
God, no,
Oh.
Look up that. Yeah, that one.
Looks
This
like the
is
intestinal
awful.
system.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Because guys think about tires in the old days
they
were
were so
thin.
skinny.
Yeah. Isn't it the worst thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, that's
That's
really
almost
scary.
worse than Woodrow
Wow.
Ruffin.
That is terrifying.
Wow.
All right, what's the next trivia, Mary?
Okay. When an engine's bore exceeds its stroke, it is termed what?
Oh my god,
No.
it's like over square or something. Is it over square?
It's over square.
Wow,
Yes.
okay.
The multiple choice options for that one was over square, geo square, under square, or Pierre square. So I don't
Did you
know.
come up with the multiple choice?
No, I did find them.
Okay,
Okay,
you
y'all,
got
you're
one more?
tied up. It's 9 to
This
9.
is closer than I
It's
thought
really-
it would be.
You're kind of killing it, Jen.
Wow.
Okay. Did JFK
Mm.
live long enough to see a Ford Mustang?
No.
Oh, that
No.
was
No, she did
so
not.
Mustang
fast.
came out.
I just
their
said no,
first-
she did not. JFK.
Well, because the
This
first
man.
model was 64 and a half, and he passed, what, 62?
What did he die of?
Well, we talked about the vehicle earlier.
I've seen a joke that goes, well, other than that, Mrs. Kennedy, how was the ride?
Oh my god. Oh, it's too soon.
No.
You just said, what did he die of? That's horrible. The Ernest, what did he die of?
Oh boy.
Okay, cool. Jen's up by 1.
We got one more?
One more. This is the
boy.
tiebreaker.
Wow.
You either get it right or Jen wins.
I really think I should get it right, and then we make Mary come up with trivia on her own. The color of my RAV4 is green, yellow.
Actually, I have a good tiebreaker.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Route 66 passes
Sorry,
through.
it's Route 66.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Route 66
Damn.
passes through 8 states. Which is not one of them?
Okay.
Missouri.
Hang on. Do you know them?
Well, I know the general route that it goes.
Actually, I feel like that's a good correction. It is
So-
spelled route.
So
What's-
if she's about to say like Maine, I don't think it's.
It's not Maine. Okay, let's hear the option.
You think I'm going to say Maine?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It's-
hang on.
That wouldn't be.
We
one
can
of
figure
them.
this out. So we can sing the song. So it starts in Chicago,
Mhm.
and then it goes through St. Louis.
you can't work together. That's not what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you use it on your own. I'm going to see if I can get this.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
A, Missouri.
Yes.
B, Kansas. C, Oklahoma. Or D, Iowa.
Iowa.
I'm going to say Iowa as well. But she said it first. Good one.
But
Do you know the song?
No.
So it goes through St. Louis, which is in not Iowa. It's in, guess.
Missouri.
Thank you. I didn't know.
He goes, guess.
Joplin, Missouri, also in
Missouri.
Oklahoma City, looks also pretty.
Which is in
Oklahoma.
Missouri.
Amarillo, Missouri. Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yeah.
Don't forget Winona. By the way, Route 66 never went through Winona.
Like
Did you know
Winona Ryder.
Sure. Didn't go through her.
Nope.
Kingsman, Arizona. Kingsman, Glasgow? That's in Ireland or Scotland.
You're thinking of Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Glasgow?
Glasgow.
Glasgow?
Don't look at me right now.
Glasgow is a name.
Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Kingman, John. So, you know
So
what?
Tommy has demonstrated that he knows some
I
things.
don't know the song very well, and I'm very bad at states.
When I hear Route 66, I think of, well, it winds
That's
from
the song I'm
Chicago
singing.
to LA.
And then
Chuck
goes
Berry.
through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow.
That's in
what
the
I'm
Chuck
thinking
Berry
of.
song?
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes. Now you go
Oh, look
through
at
St.
that.
Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow.
But Winona is a lie, you're saying.
Yes, it's a
Wow.
lie. Great work, Jen. You won.
That was really good.
High five.
Do you guys want to know my tiebreaker
Yes,
anyway?
let's hear
Yes,
your tiebreaker.
Okay.
I do.
What is the name of my car?
Oh, it's some.
It has 2 names. It has 2.
You know them?
I know them.
I'm going to say. Your car's name is Mary.
No.
As Cole's car's name is Cole,
It's not Mary.
and the second one is
Tommy, you know my other
It's-
car's name.
your other car.
That's technically your car.
Oh yes, it's Mary.
I know all 3 names.
Polly. Oh, Polly.
Yeah, Polly's
Okay.
one of them.
So your RAV4
Yes,
is Bobby with an I
correct.
or Hail Mary.
Correct.
Wow. Look at all the high fives you're
Right?
getting.
Yeah, that's really good.
Do you know what my Land Rover's name is?
John?
No.
John
God.
Clooney.
It's based on a song I was obsessed with like 8 months ago.
Okay, this will be fun to guess. Is it the Del Water Gap song?
No, glitter. It is not glitter or honey.
You named your car
Glitter
Glitter.
and honey is the name of my car.
A car. Was it by Renee Rapp?
No, bigger artist than Renee Rapp.
Billy?
No, bigger than Billy.
Bigger than Billy?
Yeah, but physically smaller.
My first thought was Kevin Hart, who is not.
It's my car, Kevin.
Who is not. But Kevin's a great
No,
name for a car.
it's named after Sabrina Carpenter song.
Espresso?
Yes.
Nice. That's a good name.
real
What's your car's name? Oh, it doesn't have a name.
We're about to name. We'll name that.
340i extra.
We named the ID Buzz.
We did.
What did you name the animals?
Gloria.
Gloria.
We also named the Tesla John Clooney.
The Tesla's name is Clooney.
Yes, named after the
The
legendary
famous silver fox John,
John
Clooney.
Clooney.
Tommy's not so good with names.
Not so good with names or places.
Yeah, but we'll name your car soon.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Right before I sell it.
Yeah.
We'll give it a
Topic.
personality.
Oh, I have a scandal I just learned about. You're not going to believe this. So I was listening to this book by this guy named Bob Lutz, who ended up being a little bit of a wacko, but very, very well-known car VP, and was
Vice President.
responsible for a lot of Mary's cars, like the favorite cars, Mary, like the
RAV4.
Pontiac. Nope,
Bandit.
close.
GTO.
Yes, actually, he
Okay.
did. We did do the new GTO, and he did the Pontiac Solstice, and the Chevrolet
Samson.
Samson,
Corolla.
the Volt, Chevrolet Corolla.
They say Curla.
Corolla.
We really are car-ish here. So he was telling a story in the late 1960s. Cadillac, there was this degree of excellence that Cadillac was prided themselves on, where everything they did was not just okay; it had to be to like the utmost of their abilities. But they took it too far. So in the late 1960s, Cadillac would send out a Christmas card to their dealers and to their partners. Okay, and what they would do is they would start with a piece of American art, and then they would make a card off the art. So they found a local artist, and he had done this beautiful watercolor of a boy with sled. And it was this cute little boy, and he had his little sled, and then there was this wandering snowy path to a cabin up on the hill.
Okay.
So they submitted it, and the VPs looked at it and said, great, but there's not enough car in it. So what if we Photoshop out the boy with sled and Photoshop in a Cadillac? Except it was the late 60s, and they didn't have Photoshop. So they went back to the artist and said, hey, can you unpaint your boy?
I'm really glad they included the artist.
Yes.
That feels
The
good.
artist did all the work, which was good.
Yeah.
So the artist said, sure, we
Yeah.
can correct the painting and we can paint a Cadillac going up the long snowy hill instead of the boy with sled. So he painted a Cadillac. And they're like, great, now we've got a cute Christmas card. Except the VP took a look at it and said, problem. Someone who owned a Cadillac wouldn't be going to a rustic cabin. That simply wouldn't do. So they went back to the artist and said, can you change the cabin to maybe a modest manner? And the artist said, sure, we can change it to a manner. So he drew like a nice Victorian house up on the hill, painted over the cabin, put a garage next to the house, right? And then called it a day. And they're like, all right, all set. And they submit it to the VP right before it was supposed to be submitted on deadline. They're like, great, except there's a problem. The manor only has a one-car garage.
Oh.
And someone who is
My
of
goodness.
Cadillac ownership needs a two-car garage.
Whoa,
So
dude.
they sent the painting back to the artist for the third time and had him paint in a two-car garage on the manor. So now boy with sled turned out to be Cadillac with mansion. So they took like this cute little, but this was like 3 committees had decided this. This is a classic example of like some of the waste of time these manufacturers do is they spent like weeks and thousands of dollars. I tried to find the picture, Cole. I think it was only internal, but if I can, I will give it to you because it was absurd.
Wow.
But there you go.
That's insane.
That makes me feel gross.
Why does it make you feel
about
gross, Jen?
Cadillac. Because they were trying to go for something like simplistic and fun, and
Relatable.
Christmassy, relatable, and then they're like, well, actually,
Oh,
look at me.
Actually.
How much did
Oh.
how much a cotillion? Did the artist make a lot of money off of that? Like every
Yes.
time they like changed something, did they pay him more?
He's like, sure.
They
Or
also
her.
Yeah, they also had they did pay him, I'm sure quite handsomely, but they also had like a big reveal ceremony for this in front of like all the execs. They had like a fancy dinner. I'm sure it was filled with smoke and misogyny. But inside this room,
As many fancy dinners are.
yes, most fancy dinners at Maramio's.
Maramios.
So close,
At
you
least
guys.
keep the B.
At the
Boomzamis.
Balamis.
Salami.
So they had this big reveal, and apparently the painting was a little bit awful because they had so many corrections done that it was like thick.
Oh,
'Cause they
wait.
kept painting- He physically
painting
painted
on
over his
top
own
of it.
painting. Yeah. Because it was the 60s. That's all you could do was paint on top of the
You could have
painting.
just started over.
No,
Yeah,
well,
but that's a lot.
well, what about Boy with Wagon? Boy with Sled?
Wow. That's
Cole is
like,
suddenly
"Shut up!"
putting 1 hour.
everybody needs to stop talking.
So before we conclude, Mary does want to list some of her grievances. I didn't put that right. You wanted to introduce us a Pinterest game.
No, okay. Listen. There's this game called Don't Get Me Started. And it's basically just like where somebody mentions something that's been bothering them recently, and then you go, "Don't get me started about,"
Ooh.
and then you
Get fired up about
you
it.
get fired up. So mine this week is bathroom door stalls that open towards you when you're in the stall.
Why?
Like, why does that happen?
Why?
That bothers me so much because it's like you're already feeling vulnerable and uncomfortable in a public bathroom. Why do I have to touch the door with my skin?
I noticed that at the airport.
Yeah.
Which is even more asinine because you have your luggage in there with you.
In the
typically.
airplane bathroom?
Well, not in the airplane, the airport. Airport bathroom.
I need to go to the bathroom. I just need to get my carry-on really quick.
Hold on 1 second.
1 second.
Checked luggage in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, okay, not to be that guy, but to bring some mansplaining into this.
Perfect. Bring on the smoke and misogyny.
Don't you think there's a little bit of a safety hazard here? Because
Yeah.
like, not about germs, but like you're walking along and then you just
I
get
see. Like
whacked
for the
by a
people
door.
in the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay. That's so fair. But what I'm concerned about is my convenience.
So you, Mary's like, I would not be dumb enough to be hit by a door, so I care about the germs.
But if you think about it, typically when you're designing doors for any type of building, you want them to be pushed out for the exit in case of like fires. So you want to push out of the building. So if you're, for whatever reason, trapped in a bathroom
Yeah,
and need
stall.
to get
Not
out
just
immediately,
not just a bathroom, but a bathroom
but a
stall.
stall, wouldn't you think that it would be like a push out type scenario?
Yeah. The good ones are. The bad ones are.
I see where you're coming from as far as like nailing someone walking by. Maybe don't walk by.
So Jen,
nailing someone walking by.
one of the coolest things about Jen is she used to be in custom cabinets, which is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
A
I forgot
professional
about that.
carpenter. I've always wondered why, for safety reasons, cabinets don't open inward.
What?
Tommy,
you
you
know-
hit all the stuff in your cabinet.
Well, you would have
You
to
go,
go.
are you talking about all your spices are now knocked over?
What?
You would have to reduce the amount of things in the cabinet. But imagine, wouldn't that be cool? Your friend shows up, be like, yes, in the third cabinet, that cup, it's not opening. Push in.
Yeah, and all your cups fall over.
Where
does
all
the door
stuff go?
In the door slot.
Oh, there's a door slot.
You have to.
Are you talking about a slide?
Oh, okay.
Now that's an idea.
Because a slide is different than like, let me push my door open to now not be able to grab anything because the
A door has
had
nowhere to go if it opened
The
in.
door had to.
Oh, the door does have to
And-
go somewhere.
Yeah.
Plus, shelves
Oh, shelves.
kind of make it difficult.
Okay, new plan. We ignore what I said and we make them open outward.
Good.
That's a
really
I like
good
that
idea.
idea. Yeah.
That's
think they've
typical
done
man.
that.
Come up with
Yeah.
the idea we already have and then get
You
praise.
mean like the entire section of coming up with the car things that
Yes.
car manufacturers should have?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
In retrospect, not great.
It's okay.
Also, grievance from you.
Grievance.
See that transition?
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know. I don't know that I can think of one off the top of my head. Sounds like this has been bothering
I have a
you.
grievance about meat sticks.
Oh,
Come on, Tommy. Rephrase that.
I have grievances about Slim Jims. I recently had a Slim Jim that had no Slim, it was just Jim. It was a fat
getting
Jim.
farther away from what you want to say. Tommy.
We're getting into the podcast after dark.
Here's the thing. Road trip, which we'll talk about next week. You're on your road trip. You're like, oh, I'm going to pull over, get a Slim Jim. I don't want the full Jim. I just want a Slim Jim because that is too much meat to handle. Now these Slim Jims, you know what we were talking about earlier, shrinkflation. Can you explain that to the audience?
Yeah, it's when things get smaller, but they're more expensive.
Like iced tea bottles getting smaller, Lay's having less chips. They're getting bigflation with Slim Jims.
Or inflation.
Inflation, if you will, Jen. You are right.
Alternatively,
Alternatively, we'll use the correct word. So bigflation is Slim Jims. Too much Jim. Why do I need so
I
much
get that.
meat?
No, I understand. So what's your problem here?
So-
Inflation or Slim Jim sizes?
Slim Jim sizes. Now you could say, just eat less of the Slim Jim.
You could say that.
But I would
Or buy a
say,
smaller Slim Jim.
no, I don't want the tiny Slim Jims. I'm not a baby.
You eat those a lot.
I do, but I have to have 45 of them. So Slim Jims, long, thin, thin. The new ones, long, fat Jim. Too much Jim, and then you bite into it. And like the nice thing about Slim Jims is you get like the perfect ratio of Slim Jim to air. With the new ones, there's too much entering your mouth.
Do you think maybe you're just taking too big of a bite?
Potentially.
This sounds completely unavoidable.
Also,
Yeah, true.
not a grievance, a province.
A delight.
A delight.
Delight. I will. I will.
I will.
M&M containers. They've gone back to the tubes.
I love the
Oh.
Big tube kind of guy.
tubes. Great. So you like
Interesting.
tubes, but you dislike big Slim Jims.
Yes. If I had to bite into the tube,
Big tube guy.
Similar shapes.
Big tube guy.
I'm a big tube guy.
You could put your Slim Jims in the tube.
Do you remember those candy canes filled with M&Ms that they would sell at Christmas time? They were
Yes.
ginormous.
Yes.
It's the worst.
Bring those back.
No, God.
You don't have to eat the
For
tube.
why?
You just
you
have
don't. You don't even have to eat the
You just
tube.
have to pour the M&Ms out.
Mary, do you hate the penguins?
No.
Do you know how many penguins were killed because of the disposal of? Why was there so much? There was too much.
I'm pretty sure it's turtles.
Who's disposing of the M&M?
Here's what I would do. I would take the tube, and then I'd be like, what do I do with this? I'll throw it in the aquarium with the turtle, and then the turtle dies.
Are you driving to the aquarium to dispose of the
the
tube?
aquarium guy's like, hello, sir. How can I help you? And you're like, I'd like to throw this
I
into the
need-
turtle enclosure. He's like, yes, right this way.
I need to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah,
I meant
right.
more. You've got a very close-minded view toward environmentalism here. I meant more like it was. It's just a lot of plastic for the M&Ms.
I see what you're
And
saying.
also, I didn't like the shape. Because you ever have one of those beard boos? The beard boobs. The boo.
Are you trying to say boobs or boots? The beer boots.
The beer boots?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like in like the glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't package things in an L.
Why?
Because they all spill out at the end.
But that's part of the fun. And by the time you get to the bottom of the boot, you're not super sober anymore.
Yeah.
I always say never get to the bottom of the boot.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
Any
it's-
grievances for you, Jen?
I don't think so.
Jen just has no
Jen's
things.
only full of delights.
She's only
Just
delight.
today at least.
Yeah, today full of
Provinces.
delights. Absolute delightful.
Yes.
Oh, Jen dislikes touchscreens or too much touchscreens.
You do.
These are
Why,
facts.
Jen?
Because here's the thing. It's illegal to text and drive, right? It's also pretty unsafe to do because you're just staring at a screen, right?
We should clarify. Touchscreens in cars.
In cars. Oh yeah. Phones are fine. Phones are fine.
What about drink dispensers at restaurants?
What about them?
Oh
Their
boy, do I
existence?
have a grievance
You've-
with
you've-
those touchscreen drink
yeah.
dispensers.
Oh, okay. Is it because you have to like slam on the button to
Oh,
actually?
you have no idea how much you have to slam on that button.
Mm.
And then also, why so many flavors of Fanta? Look at that. This
Yeah,
is
that's
too many
ridiculous.
options.
Here, but see, here's the thing. I love me a vanilla Coke Zero.
What the hell,
And you
Jen?
can't,
Sorry.
you can't get that anywhere else.
Not
I'm
that much
sorry.
of a hot take. I think that's a good
I'm
take.
leaving.
Vanilla Coke. What's wrong
That's where
with
Tommy
that?
draws the line.
Jen, here's
Well,
the
where
thing.
else are you gonna get that?
So you have Coke.
Uh-huh.
Icon, classic.
Classic.
You have Coke Zero. It's fine. You have vanilla Coke. It's fine. You put them together. Might as well just move to Soviet Russia.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well.
Anyways,
I
keep on
guess-
about your touchscreens in
guess I
cars.
can-
See that guy? He is pissed. The Salt Lake City
Also,
Tribune.
it's crazy that he's like holding one, like you pick your drink and then you put it under.
Yeah, what are you doing?
You don't like do it
Wait
simultaneously.
for it? What are you doing?
That's a
so
a
are we all
real
in
man right
agreement?
there.
Terrible. Do we hate
Yeah, I
those?
hate those.
But Jen
Yeah.
likes. Is there anywhere else you can get vanilla Coke Zero?
I mean,
The
if there is,
factory?
please let me know.
The factory. So you hate touchscreens in cars because it's a distraction.
It's a huge distraction, and it's a lot easier to find a dial to adjust your heat for your fan speed, anything like that. But when it's a touchscreen, usually it's embedded somewhere else, or you hit a bump and now your finger moves, and now you've selected something completely different. Now you have to close that window somehow and refine where you're supposed to go. And to me, it's just a giant phone. Why is that legal to have in your? But
True that.
holding a phone here, illegal.
Now
As
they're
it
gonna-
should be, because it's a distraction. But why is a giant iPad essentially totally fine?
So Jen thinks what she has done is bring up a great point about safety and bring buttons back. But what she really has done is made it illegal now to change your radio station while driving your
You're
car.
just like white knuckled, like I hate this song.
I can't.
It
too
locks
bad.
you out.
Too bad.
That's a good grievance. I do agree with that. But on the flip side,
Flip it.
Mary was a little overwhelmed with the buttons in Perry the Range Rover.
Yes. So
Okay.
old fashioned Range Rovers,
Yep.
say from 2001.
If you will.
If
I
you
will.
What other years, Mary?
Now.
Okay.
No. No. I was hoping
know.
you were going to say 2000.
2000.
You can't say 2 either, weirdly enough. You only have 2000.
2000.
Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. The P38 Range
The
Rover.
P38 Range Rover,
Ah,
perhaps.
yes.
That thing is a litany of buttons.
Yeah, that's
It feels like too much.
how it was in my. I had this 2012 Regal GS. And
Oh, a Regal. Oh.
yeah, oh, fancy.
Oh.
It's not fancy.
Boobalabambies. Where
The
she
only thing
worked.
fancy about it was that it was manual. But that also had
Yeah, look at all those buttons.
enormous amount of buttons.
Yeah.
Cole, can you look up a 2012 Regal? Because
Oh.
that had like a
The Regal is so
cockpit
funny.
of buttons and it was awful.
So Jen,
Yeah, that's a lot.
are
That's a
we
lot going on.
So that's too many buttons.
that was too
You know what
many
I liked about
buttons.
the P38?
what?
The analog clock.
You like a good clock.
You know what I didn't like about it?
Everything else.
The analog clock.
That thing did not light up in the dark.
No.
So I was like, I wonder what time it is.
You want to see a lot of buttons? Cole, look up one more thing. Look up a 2013 Porsche Panamera interior. This is the right. I love buttons, guys.
I know what you're talking about.
Look
yeah.
up the.
Down
That
that
doesn't look
center.
like. But the whole. If you zoom into the center there, Cole.
Yeah.
The whole middle, from top to bottom, is buttons.
Wow.
So
That. Look at that.
That's a
is-
lot.
That's awesome. What do you think of overhead buttons, like buttons on the roof?
okay, so I've got this grinds my gears.
Oh, good segment to what we said we were going to
I mean, it is a callback to Family Guy, but there was, I forgot what it was that we were reviewing, but it had a button to open and close the sunroof, a button to tilt the sunroof,
Yes.
and a button to open and close the shade.
Yes.
It's too many buttons.
That's.
That's too many buttons.
That's a lot.
I'm gonna.
We can condense that into a singular button.
That's
I'm
true.
gonna come back at you and say that's the right number of buttons.
No.
You know why?
For a sunroof
No.
specifically?
Yes.
It's too many.
Because whenever I tried to crack the sunroof, it is a 35 push to figure out. Because like, oh, I'll crack it, push the button, and oh no, I gotta
See,
close it.
mine
That's
they
fair.
figured out. Mine is one button. It's a slide back and forth to open or push up to vent.
Okay, I like that.
Simple.
That's
So
good.
simple.
BMW has it figured out. This is a whole conversation because Mary doesn't have a sunroof in her car.
Well,
No, that is the one thing my little RAV4 is missing.
you know, that's actually something sought after for like
Does Cole have a sunroof?
race cars. They call it like sunroof delete because
Yes.
it saves money.
Good point.
So that's actually something that people
And wait, they're lighter without
yearn
them.
for. Right.
You bring the center of gravity lower, so when you're making the turns in your 2010 RAV4?
7.
7. Oh, you have a pre-financial crisis.
I know, Bobby.
RAV4.
Yeah, she doesn't know terror.
She doesn't know terror to tear us.
Ever.
Oh, too soon.
Ooh,
She doesn't know pain.
She doesn't know pain.
Yeah.
She has a tremendous amount of hail damage. I imagine that would be
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
so do you remember
that's where
when
Hail Mary
Hail
came from.
Mary, because it's my car and she's got a ton
you don't
of
think
hail
that hurt?
damage.
Like if I started
Well,
popping
that-
you with dents, that would.
Here's the thing. She can weather physical pain. Emotional pain, that's a different
She
ballgame.
can't take it.
Yeah, but yeah, it is. She's got some insane hail damage. That hailstorm that caused all that killed 2 birds at the zoo.
Mhm.
Oh.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not to be insensitive, but were they like normal birds? Or
No, they were like
zoo
vultures.
birds?
They were
Oh,
like they were
shoot.
outside.
Yeah.
And they got killed
What do
by
you
the
think
hail.
the difference between a normal bird and a zoo quality bird is?
Like a pigeon.
That's a zoo bird.
Well, no.
Well, some
absolutely
pigeons
not.
are in the zoo.
They fly. Into
Imagine
the zoo.
being that pigeon.
You feel important.
You're at the zoo, but you don't get any of the high-end treatment that
Oh.
the actual birds get.
But you do get to leave. So
That's
The other
There's
birds.
that's a really fair point.
Do you want your freedom or do you
You're
want to be
not-
fed?
You're not trapped.
Welcome
so
to
that's
democracy
cool.
in 2025.
Oh no.
All right, on that note, you've been listening to us for over 1 hour.
Yeah.
So sorry.
guys.
Probably not, actually. At this point, everyone's tuned out. But if you want another one, leave us a comment. If you don't want another one, please do not leave us a comment.
Please just leave us be.
Just don't say anything.
Just be nice.
We'll figure it out.
That's right. And this has been
Mary
and Tommy
and Jen.
and also Cole.
Thanks, Cole.
He's ready for lunch. We'll see you on the next one.